Hey guys, Joe Curtin here from Curtin Construction. I thought it would be an interesting idea to do a video that would basically show the beginning and middle and all the way through to the end of a typical job that we do. A local business here in East Haddam just bought this building, and they're adding another building actually here right where this parking lot is. But overall, so far what's been done is the loggers finished up the other day and cleared the site. You can see what it looked like actually before. First thing is we got to stump and strip the place. The parking lot has to be ripped up, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, here we are a few days later, and as you can see, all the stumps have been removed and the topsoil has been stripped off. We also removed the old septic tank, which was right here, and since nobody's in the existing building at the moment, we don't need to put the new one in just yet, but we will do that later. We also found out that there is quite a bit of ledge here where a pipeline has to go up top, and we've decided that we're going to have that blasted rather than try to hammer it. So we actually have to do that before any foundation work can be done. We also put in a temporary pipe here, as you can see, just to divert some of the water in this swale so that it could get through right there and down off the hill in the back. You can kind of see where everything's going to go. The corner of the building is right where that stake is. You can see how the roadway will then go around the corner of the building and down. And there are the stakes showing the other side of the building. We also took care of the erosion controls in the back with wood chips. We did 2 layers. So now the blaster is here. They're currently drilling their holes, getting ready to blast this pipeline. Okay, now that the blasting is done, we regraded the entire roadway since a lot of it was disturbed. So now that the rough grade is set, it will be easier to install the pipeline that we're going to do starting next week, which is a 15-inch pipe. It's 285 feet long, and we're going to use perforated pipe and fill it with stone so that it will act as a drain for behind the building. As you can see here, we started the pipeline. The first few sections of pipe we used were solid pipe, so we didn't need to go perforated the whole way. And as you can see where the stone begins, we're now backfilling the rest of the trench with stone. And from there on out, it's perforated pipe, and it will be perforated all the way to the catch basins. Before we even got the first section in, the water was running, so we know obviously the water table is pretty high here, and this drain should really help. The idea is that as the water travels through the earth, it intersects this trench that is filled with stone all the way to the top, drops down, it goes in the perforations and comes out the end here. The pitch of this pipe is 1.4%. As you can see, we have that set in the pipe laser, and it'll be uniform that way all the way through. Here we have a closer look at the pipe. You can see that we used 3/4 inch stone down immediately on the pipe, and then we've now switched to the 3-inch stone. Okay, so yesterday we finished the 15-inch line, and we decided to dead end it just a few feet short of where the catch basin is going to be. Those are the offset stakes. What we decided to do now is all the excess fill from when we dug for this line is now being hauled away to the back, and we're going to use it off the embankment to add additional parking. And you can see here, this is where we're pushing off all that fill. And we stripped the topsoil back yesterday and created a windrow to stop any rocks from falling down. And we'll extend this out a little bit further so we'll have plenty of parking over here. And we're continuing the foundation today. We're now doing the back wall that's alongside the trench that we did a couple weeks ago. We dug this one yesterday. This one's extra deep because there's a loading dock going here. We did this trench the first day. We've dead-ended it here and here as well, leaving this laneway open so we can get into the middle. So this spot will be the last thing that is done on the way out. So the concrete guys have formed up the majority of the footing here. And all the rebar is in place. Here's where it will connect into the other building. And here's a look at the back wall, where the loading dock is, which is why there's an extra wide footing here. And you can see that we piled up all of the excavated fill from the entire foundation hole, and we'll be able to use some of that around the outside of the foundation. However, the inside requires structural fill. Now here we are a few days later, and the majority of the footings have been poured, and even some of the wall was done today. And here it is from another angle, and you can see the connector to the existing building. And here we're taking a look at the back wall where the loading dock is going. Stepping up to the back there, along the back wall up against the trench that we did a few weeks ago. So we started backfilling the foundation here, and we've been doing it in lifts and compacting it. The inside of the foundation has to be done with our 3-inch process, and there will be compaction testing. We've just started over here. And we go one layer at a time. We also brought in our screener to screen out the existing material that we dug out. And we did that so that when we backfill the outside of the foundation, we can avoid having any major rocks hitting it. And we've been using that along the back, and will be used along that back wall as well after it is sprayed with the tar. And here we are today backfilling this outer wall and using insulation on the outside. And the insulation goes about 4 feet down from final grade. Now here we are on the left side of the existing building, and what we did is we cut in a pathway here for the owner to have access down to the lower level. So here you can see that what was just a steep embankment, now we used some of the excess fill that we had to get this path, and we wood chipped the entire embankment. Here we are now grading in the final lift and getting it prepped for the floor to be poured. We still have these connector footings between that footing over there and this footing here tied in with this rebar. And we need a few more loads in here and we'll have this complete. So here we are digging the cross footings that connect from one side of the building to the other. They're basically just 8 inches down, about 1 foot 2 inches wide, and they won't be formed, they'll just be poured with steel in place. So here we are in the rear of the building, and you can see a lot of the frame is up. And also, the last time we were here, we were digging these footings from one side to the other, and they poured those with rebar inside. Now they're working on erecting the actual steel. A few weeks later, and now we're digging for the plumbing to go in for a few toilets and sinks and a bathroom that will be here. Okay, so today we finished touching up the floor, and they will be ready to pour this in just a few days. So today the concrete guys showed up and prepped the floor, putting down their wire and the plastic. And over here we did the 2 catch basins. They're not totally finished. This one you can see we just put a pad down instead of a 2-foot sump, since the footing of the building is so close we didn't want to undermine that. And over there we did a full 2-foot sump. So now we just have to set the pipes in with concrete and put the tops on and set those to grade, and we'll be all set here. So the floor was finally poured the other day, and it really looks great. And meanwhile over here, we finished setting the tops to grade for the catch basins. So today we're getting the base of the road prepped. We're gonna have 8 inches of our 3-inch crush process with 4 inches of 1 1/4 on top, and that will be graded off, ready for asphalt. So today we continued with the road. We have our 3-inch minus base down, and over here we started the inlet for the gutter drains, which is an 8-inch SDR35 gasketed line, and that will run right across the front of the building here, and it comes into the basin. And here in the back, we continue today with digging this out. A lot of this fill has to come out of here because of the loading docks. So we'll eventually put our 3-inch minus base in here and the 1 1/4 process as well. And it's going to blend up around to the corner of the road there. Also today, we are continuing the gutter line across the front of the building here, and we'll probably end it tonight at the corner and get this backfilled. So as the grading continues today, you can see the Daewoo is down in the back, and what we're prepping to do there is we're going to be digging the detention pond soon, which all the drainage of this entire site is going to end up in that detention pond. And we're just getting our contour line set. You maybe see those orange marks that I've made on several spots here to get our grades correct around this corner, because the elevation changes pretty dramatically in a very short distance, so we're trying to make sure that's correct. So yesterday we finished getting the detention pond roughly dug, and the outlet from the catch basins has some of the gutters hooked up already, and in one night and morning we had considerable amount of rain and it already filled this thing up. We let some of the water out over there, and now we're pumping some of it to keep the level down. We don't want it getting too high here because currently there is no outlet structure, and we don't want too much pressure on that because a lot of the back wall is just fill. And so we want to keep the water down from the top, but you can see how much water we actually got just in one hard rainstorm. So we moved the transformer out of our way today. CLMP came and shut the power off several days ago. So we've disconnected the lines. We found the main line coming in here, which we've started to pull out to get out of our way. They're going to get an entirely new electrical service here, so we don't need to save that. And underneath the water there, you can't see it, but is a sleeve coming in for the water line to go under the footing to the existing building, and we have to connect in there to a sleeve that we put underneath the footing of the new building, which will be able to connect the water between the two. So we'll have to carefully dig this and pump the water out of our way. And you can see also the sewer line is right there, which we're going to give it a fresh cut with the chop saw, and then we will add on Schedule 40 to go down through the parking lot and to a new tank that will go on the other side there. So we have a lot of work to do in this area, but we have to do the water line first since it's the deepest. So we finished the sleeve here for the water line connecting the two buildings, and we already backfilled it, but it's Schedule 40 coming into the new building, and we actually already ran the new water line in. And here's the actual water line that we pulled through, and you can see it coming in from the floor. And here inside this closet of the original building is the other end of the water line. And once we finished working on the water line, we decided to start the sewer connection. They're adding another bathroom inside the existing building, and this line's going to run straight on through and connect in with the cast iron pipe that we exposed a couple days ago. And from inside the existing building, you can see where we came in. We just basically had to cut a hole in the floor here, dig this out, and then drill a hole through the wall, and we managed to just leave it there, and the plumber will come in and make his connections. So we continue the sewer line today and connect it in to the existing cast iron pipe. That's where we started the other day with the new bathroom in the existing building. And continued. And we're going to dead end it there for now. We're going to wait to go across the parking lot there. And we also hooked in the bathroom in the new building. And the transformer is going to go somewhere right in here. So we're going to put up a few stakes so that we know exactly where it is, so when we dig for the vault we won't hit it. We finished digging across the parking lot today for the septic line. We've dead ended it for there for right now because we have the tank coming tomorrow. You can see we have the tank hole dug, ready to be set in the morning. And coming out of the tank, we will connect into the first D-box right over there. And here's the D-box that we will be tying into. So the septic tank was dropped this morning, and we even installed the outlet line to the D-box. And here's the old D-box, but we stopped here because we decided to change that since there's a few cracks in this box. It's pretty old. We're going to replace this one with a new one, and that's when we'll finalize this hookup right here. So the new D-box has been installed. We connected it to the next D-box in. That one was fine down there, so we kept that one. This line is ready to be completely backfilled. We also added a few risers on top of the septic tank since it was so deep. And we're going to leave those above grade like that. So what we're working on today is extending the 15-inch line, the outlet of the 15-inch line that we did several months ago. And the reason for that is the detention pond here is not in the original location on the plan. We decided actually to move it about 30 feet out this way from the original proposed location, simply to give the owner here a little bit more room in here. The pond would have been more behind the excavator here, and instead it's about 35 feet out that way. So we're going to extend this pipe out the same amount so that that pipe can exit into the detention pond a little bit easier. Now the pipe has been fully extended, and we're just adding all the riprap around the outlet, and it will spill in here and make its way down to the detention pond. And now we're connecting in the gutter drains from this back side of the building. We dug the trench. We're going to connect in to the existing building right here. And it's going to end up in the same riprap area as the 15-inch line. Now that the gutter drain is complete, we were able to continue putting down our 3-inch base in the back here. Also in front of the concrete ramp that's going into the existing building there, we cut that grade down a little bit and hauled away some of the excess material. Now the grade works a little bit better to blend into the existing terrain. So here we're working on the electric line, and we're going to have a trench here that connects the two buildings, and also going underneath the septic line here will be 3-inch lines that will head out to the transformer vault. Also right next to the clean out there, we're going to sneak in the phone and cable, and that'll come up on this building as well. So we are sanding the electrical trench. can see the 3 lines that are going to head into the transformer vault. That's going to get here tomorrow. And then the lines that are connecting the 2 buildings. One more panel has to go up here. We'll be able to hook that last pipe up, and the whole thing will be sanded and covered up. Now the sand is complete, except for that one last pipe that will be hooked up tomorrow. You can see with the warning tape what it looks like just before we backfill it. And now we've cleared out some brush that's in the way of where the new electric line is going. And you can see the telephone pole down there. It's going to run up in the same trench as the original, except the original is direct burial, so that's being abandoned. But pretty much in the same location. The new trench will go up to where the transformer vault is going to be. So we started the electric line today, and it's going to go from the pole here all the way up, cross the parking lot, and head towards the transformer vault. We're going to have 1 4-inch line and 2 3-inch lines in this trench, and it will have sand and warning tape on it before we backfill it. So we completed the gutters today with this 8-inch line. All the downspouts are picked up by a 6-inch line. And once we backfill all this, we'll be able to finalize the transformer vault, which is going about where I'm standing here. So next thing is just to get this backfilled so we can finish that too. So the transformer vault is in. Here are the secondary lines coming out of it. We have phone and cable going to the side, and the 4-inch line coming in is the primary. And we're gonna cover this up with the sand, the warning tape, and then backfill this. So after finishing the electric line here, we regraded the entire area and put down the seed and mulch. And this area is now done. So we're down in the detention pond today, and we've just installed the first 2 sections of the outlet structure. The last piece to go on will be the top. And in the back, where the dam is here, is an outlet for a 15-inch pipe. And as it goes up, it hits these various holes that are sized differently. 3-inch, 4-inch, and the next one on the next piece will be 6. And the last one on top is actually a 4-inch. And then we'll backfill around this, and the outlet pipe will be done hopefully tomorrow. So we finished installing the outlet structure, and over here we've started to rip-wrap a swale leading into the detention pond so that anything that sheds off of the parking lot won't erode its way down into the pond. So the 15-inch outlet line is in. It's going to lead to a level spreader down there, which will basically just slowly and evenly let the water back out into the woods. So we started doing some final grading in this area here around the detention pond, and pretty shortly we are going to seed and mulch this entire area. So the seed and mulch is now done in this area. We even did around the pond, and this area should turn green pretty soon. So we have finished putting down the 1 1/4 process on the road, and we even put it down in this extra parking area as well. They won't be paving that, but it will be left just like that. And you can also see that we finished today seeding and mulching the entire lower area behind the detention pond, including the level spreader. So the base course for the paving was finished, as well as the curb. And we're gonna have to go in and touch up the edges behind the curb. And as far as the top course, the owners decided to wait until spring for that. They haven't decided exactly what they're doing in the old building. So once the renovations inside there are done, then they can think about finishing this entire parking lot with the top course. And you can see the road here has been finished as well, and some temporary asphalt's been put around the catch basins until the top course can be finished. That way plow trucks won't destroy the catch basin tops. And you can see the area around the loading dock, and the entire back side of the building has been finished as well. So we've added our screen topsoil behind the curb, and this back embankment as well as this strip here behind the building are now ready to have seed and mulch. And now this back area has had all the edges done, and this island is ready to be completed as well. And here is the finished product. Both the front and the back as well is complete. And the final step here was for us to install the bollards and finish with the topsoil, seed, and mulch all around the transformer. And we also finished off the area behind the transformer here, including adding 2 of these yard drains to collect any of the surface water that may puddle in here. So that pretty much concludes all of our site work being done here. Other than a few changes in the springtime to the parking lot and a planter that will be added, everything here is done. And now the owner can get his CO and start moving all of his stuff in. So thanks for watching.